Have you ever witnessed a moment so simple, yet so powerful, that it changed someone's life forever? What if a wealthy CEO offered $750,000 to help a little boy speak, only to discover that the answer wasn't found in expensive treatments, specialists, or technology, but in a single act of kindness from a janitor? Stay with me, because this heartwarming story reminds us that sometimes the greatest miracles come from the most unexpected people. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Moments, and leave a comment below telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your life. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories that remind the world that kindness still matters. Sarah Mitchell was a single mother living in a small town in Ohio. Every day was a challenge, but her greatest concern was her 8-year-old son, Ethan. Ethan had never spoken a word. Doctors called him nonverbal. Specialists had worked with him for years. Sarah spent countless hours driving him to therapy appointments, reading books, and trying every recommendation she could find. But despite all her efforts, Ethan remained silent. Still, Sarah never stopped believing in him. Ethan communicated through gestures, smiles, and the occasional nod. His bright blue eyes seemed full of thoughts and feelings that he simply couldn't express aloud. One afternoon, Sarah attended a charity event hosted by a successful CEO named Victoria Reynolds. Victoria was known across the country for her generosity. She had built a billion-dollar company and donated millions to causes involving children and families. When Victoria heard Sarah speak about Ethan's struggles, she was deeply moved. After the event, she approached Sarah privately. "I want to help," Victoria said. Sarah smiled politely. Many people had offered encouragement before. But Victoria continued. "I'm willing to provide up to $750,000 for any treatment, program, or specialist that could help Ethan find his voice." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. No one had ever offered such an extraordinary gift. News of Victoria's promise quickly spread. Medical experts from around the country contacted Sarah. New evaluations were scheduled. Therapists developed plans. Specialists reviewed Ethan's history. For months, everyone searched for a breakthrough. Yet nothing changed. Ethan remained silent. Although Sarah appreciated every effort, she could see disappointment growing around her. People wanted a miracle. But miracles don't always arrive the way we expect. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, Sarah took Ethan to a therapy center in Columbus. The session ended early, and they sat quietly in the waiting area. As Sarah checked her phone, Ethan wandered toward a hallway where an older janitor was mopping the floor. His name was Robert. Most people barely noticed him. He worked quietly, arrived early, and left late. He greeted everyone with a smile but rarely drew attention to himself. Robert noticed Ethan watching him. Instead of continuing his work, he gently set down the mop and sat on a nearby bench. Neither of them spoke. For several minutes, they simply sat together. Sarah watched from a distance. Something about the moment felt different. Robert wasn't trying to teach Ethan anything. He wasn't analyzing him or testing him. He was simply being present. After a while, Robert looked at Ethan and smiled warmly. Then he softly whispered one word. "Friend." That was all. Just one word. "Friend." Ethan stared at him. Robert didn't repeat it. He didn't pressure him. He simply smiled again. Then something incredible happened. Ethan opened his mouth. His voice was quiet and shaky. Almost a whisper. "Friend." Sarah froze. For a moment, she thought she had imagined it. Then Ethan said it again. "Friend." The room seemed to stop. Tears streamed down Sarah's face. She rushed over, trembling. For 8 years she had dreamed of hearing her son's voice. And now, finally, she had. The therapists came running from nearby rooms. Staff members gathered in disbelief. Everyone wanted to understand what had happened. But Robert simply shrugged. I just wanted him to know he wasn't alone, he said. Over the following weeks, Ethan slowly began speaking more words. Not hundreds. Not all at once. But little by little. Each new word felt like a treasure. The specialists continued their work, but many agreed that something unique had happened that day. For years, Ethan had been surrounded by people trying to help him speak. Robert had done something different. He had focused on helping Ethan feel understood. He offered no expectations. No pressure. No complicated techniques. Only kindness. When Victoria Reynolds heard the story, she immediately visited Ethan and his mother. She listened carefully as Sarah described the moment. Then Victoria asked to meet Robert. When they finally sat together, Victoria thanked him. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars searching for a solution, she said. You gave this family something priceless. Robert smiled. I didn't give him a voice, he replied. I just gave him a friend. Victoria was so touched that she created a new foundation focused on building supportive relationships for children with communication challenges. And she asked Robert to help guide the program. The humble janitor who most people overlooked suddenly became an inspiration to thousands. But Robert never considered himself a hero. He believed anyone could make a difference. All it took was seeing another person with compassion. Years later, Ethan became a confident young man. He never forgot the day a janitor sat beside him and treated him like a friend instead of a problem to solve. That single moment of kindness changed the course of his life. And perhaps that's the lesson we all need to remember. We often think changing someone's life requires money, power, or special abilities. But sometimes the greatest gift we can offer is our time, our patience, and our kindness. A smile. A listening ear. A simple word spoken with genuine care. Because kindness has a way of reaching places that money never can. And you never know when one small act might become the miracle someone has been waiting for. Thank you for watching Kindness Moments. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little inspiration today. Remember, kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything.